Alright guys, so today we're going to be checking out the brand new Sony LinkBuds. Now these were just released last week and you probably saw some videos from some of these larger companies and creators that got sent them early. And this is a very unique and innovative design on a pair of earbuds. I mean, obviously we cover a ton of earbuds here, so it's rare to see something that you haven't actually seen before. And what Sony has done has designed an open ring earbud, which is very similar to like having an open back pair of headphones. They want you to be able to listen to your music, but not feel closed in or sealed. So your music just kind of sounds a little bit more natural, but you're able to hear your environment. But that also means that if you're listening above 40 to 50% volume, people can really hear what you're listening to as well. So I don't really think this is a normal pair of earbuds. So we're gonna talk about who these may be for and what the advantages are to having these. We're going to talk about what comes inside the box and the sound and see if it's worth that very steep $179 price tag. So to start with, let's go ahead and talk about who these might be for, because they're very similar to what Apple's original AirPods and the Galaxy Buds Live are doing, where there's a lot of people that can't wear ear tips. They don't like that sealed in feeling. So these just kind of sit in your ear. You just place this O-ring inside of your ear. It's not sealing anything. So if you're not listening to music, it really just sounds like it normally does without anything in your ear. And this is a very comfortable pair, so this is one that you could wear all day. But I do want to say this, I honestly don't understand the open sound that these are supposed to have, because if you start to give these any kind of volume at all, if you're listening, above 40%, you really can't hear your surroundings anymore. And another con about this is if you start listening at 40% or above, people around you can pretty much hear everything that you're listening to. So definitely keep that in mind if you're thinking about checking these out. And as far as any kind of technology, Sony did actually put their own V1 processor in these earbuds, and that's the same one that they're using in the Sony WF-1000XM4s, which is their very popular noise canceling earbuds. And what that's doing is it's cutting down on any kind of compression, it's allowing you to upscale your audio, and it also cuts down on any kind of lag when it comes to movies, videos, and games. I didn't experience any kind of lag while testing different types of media. So that right there is definitely a huge plus to picking these up. And another huge selling point about these and pretty much any Sony earbuds is it does work with Sony's app, which I really do feel is the best app when it comes to earbuds and headphones. With Sony's app, you do have several different EQ options. You also have the DSEE feature, which is digitally enhancing whatever you're listening to. It does allow you to have adaptive volume control, so it'll just adapt its volume to whatever your surroundings are. You do have some very limited controls over the controls. This pair also allows you to connect to your music services, so you can basically connect it to Spotify and have it where if you tap your earbuds, it will just quick play into whatever music service that you have. And I do like this feature because it's just great to put the earbuds in, not really have to pull out your phone to do that. It does have Sony's 360 audio, which, that's kind of good for some things, and then some things I kind of find it to be gimmicky, and I'm not really the biggest fan of 360 audio yet. And it also has a speak to chat feature. Now, I do see the benefits of this if you're going to be using this while running or even in an office environment, because the earbuds will pick up if you start to talk, and it will know that it needs to turn the volume down, and it basically turns your earbuds into ambient mode. So they might start picking up everything around you, and it does a very good job at this. Now, if you are looking for a pair to use outdoors and use while cycling or running or anything like that, these do come in with an IPX4 rating, which means they're fine against splashes and rain and sweat and things like that. But this is definitely not one of those pairs that you would submerge into water. Now, as far as what all you're getting inside the box, obviously you're not getting any kind of silicone ear tips, but it does come with 5 sets of what they're calling ring supporters. And these are basically like ear fins or ear wings. It does come with a USB-C cable. And sadly, this pair does not have Qi wireless charging. And I think this is a big deal, especially again, because these are retailing for $179. pretty much every pair that I've tested in this price range has Qi wireless charging. So I really wish they would have implemented that on this pair. But speaking of the charging, battery life, I also wish that it got a little bit more as well, because again, I think this is designed to be worn at work all day, which you would like to get about 8 hours. But on the earbuds themselves, you're only going to get around 5.5 hours, where with the charging case, you're gonna get about 17.5 hours total. Now this pair does have a fast charge feature, so if you do pick your earbuds up and they are dead, a quick 10-minute charge will get you 90 minutes of use. And I've always enjoyed this type of feature because if you do happen to forget to charge your earbuds and you're walking out the door, it's nice that 10 minutes can get you an hour and a half. So moving over to looking at the actual case and the earbuds themselves, the case on these are very tiny. In fact, almost to a fault. It's really hard to push the eject button and actually grip the case without pushing it out of your hand. Now on the back of the case, you can see the USB-C input. Next to that, you have your pairing button. And then around on the front, right above the eject button, you have a single indicator light. And this way, this helps you kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. Now moving over to looking at the earbuds. I mean, this is easily the most unique pair of earbuds that I've seen or tested or tried out or anything, because again, it has this open ring, which basically is your driver on the other side. So you have a driver that has a big hole in the middle of it. And this, again, if you're used to using other types of earbuds, does take a little while to get used to. But this pair does use touch controls, and the touch controls are definitely limited on this pair. They are only giving you double tap and triple tap function. And in fact, out of the box, the only two options that you have on the earbuds is you can double tap to pause your music and you can triple tap to move your track forward. I mean, now Sony within their app does give you some other options, but they're all kind of locked in. You can't have it where one earbud is doing one thing that you want and then the other earbud is doing something completely different. I mean, they just kind of set it up in groups, and I really wish that Sony wouldn't have done this. But one thing I really do like about this pair, and I think makes this very interesting because I haven't seen this in another pair, is they have what they call wide area tap. Now this isn't a feature where you can just tap the outside part of the earbud or the corner or anything like that. This is a feature where you can tap somewhere between your cheek and your ear, and the earbuds somehow pick this up where your controls just work that way. So on my cheek, I can tap twice to have it pause the music, or I can tap 3 times to have that move the track forward. I don't actually have to tap the earbud that's in my ear. And on top of that, these do have smart sensors. So if you do take your earbuds out, it will pause your music, and then it just resumes when you put them back in. But one thing that I think is another selling point about this pair, and again, it goes back to using these in an office environment, is the mics are actually very good. I feel like if you're gonna use these to take phone calls, I think they pick up my voice very well. Even if you're using these outdoors, I think they do a very good job of blocking out your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is a mic test using the Sony LinkBuds. Again, I think this is definitely one of the better mics that you're going to hear on a pair of earbuds. I think it picks up my voice extremely natural. I mean, it does have a slight digital sound to it, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So now let's talk about the sound, because although this pair does have some pretty interesting and unique features, I feel like the sound is where these pretty much fall flat. I mean, literally, this is not a very fun pair of earbuds to listen to when it comes to music. The bass is pretty much non-existent, and again, this is because of the design of these, because you have a hole in the driver that's not really sealing anything in. I mean, if you put any pair of earbuds in and you don't have the ear tip seal your ears, it basically just sounds like a Bluetooth speaker at a distance, and you're not really feeling that bass impact. You're able to hear what you're listening to, but you can't really feel what you're listening to. And I think that's the best way to describe these, because I feel like the mids actually sound great on this pair. I feel like dialogue and vocals and everything always came through clearly. Same thing with the treble. The treble had lots of detail. It actually can sound pretty bright if you're listening to these at higher volumes. You can, again, go in the app and tone this down if you don't like a bright treble. But I think the mids and the treble actually sounded very good. But when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, because of the design that these have and because of the way that they're intended to be used, this is a very open sounding pair of earbuds. And honestly, because the mids and the treble are done so well, you really have no issue being able to tell where sounds are coming from. They have plenty of depth to them, and it really does have a natural feel. But that lack of bass really just kind of keeps them from being fun to listen to. I mean, it's kind of like if you're a casual listener of music and you just like to hear things in the background, that's what these would be for. But those type of people, I don't see spending $179 on an audio product in general. So guys, that pretty much wraps up my video on the Sony LinkBuds. I do like the idea and I do like the innovative design and everything that Sony's going for here, but I do think that there's a lot of improvements they have to make with a second gen version. And I think this is really for a specific group that just can't use normal earbuds and don't really care about having any kind of bass. If it's just more listening to spoken word stuff, I can see it being for people like that. But outside of that, there's much better options in this price range, much better options that have ambient mode where you can still hear your surroundings, much better options with earbuds that will turn the volume down and turn on mics to pick up your surroundings in like the Galaxy Buds Pro, where you're getting much better audio quality. So again, this is a hard sell for Sony, and this really isn't a pair that I could recommend at the moment. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.